Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
Good evening. I'm Ann Trujillo with the latest from Denver 7. The pharmaceutical industry is less than thrilled with Governor Polis's plan to import prescription drugs from Canada, to which the people depending on those medications say, fine, fix our country's system so we don't have to. Well, Denver 7's Megan Lopez has been following this fight since it was just a pie-in-the-sky proposal. And as it gets closer to reality, she's going 360 on why many believe this is a must and the unexpected consequences some fear it will bring.
Just lower the price. Just lower the price.
For years, the price of prescription medication has been on the rise with no end in sight. Now the state is stepping in. Senate Bill 5 would pave the way for Colorado to import some of the most expensive name-brand prescription drugs from Canada. Patients say the cost of medication is causing them to make dangerous decisions. The pharmaceutical industry says importing drugs isn't the answer. Supporters of the bill say they're putting patients first, while some states are already moving forward with the idea.
The burden that prescription drug costs place on families is too crushing for us not to act boldly.
For Governor Jared Polis and Senate Bill 5's co-sponsors,
I've seen prices go up continuously. Where does it end?
This is about protecting patients from big pharma.
Too many Coloradans are faced with, do I pay my rent? Do I pay my mortgage? Or do I get my medication?
Senator Joanne Ginal says the cost differences are stark. Take the psychiatric drug Abilify, for instance.
In the United States, it's about $30 per pill. In Canada, it's $7.54.
So if the pharmaceutical industry isn't going to regulate itself, she says it's up to lawmakers to find a workaround.
To stay alive, I have to take insulin.
Gail DeVore has type 1 diabetes.
I was forced to spend $346.99 to buy one bottle of this insulin.
She's already found that workaround. You see, that $347 bottle of insulin will only last her 12 days. So she's
buying it directly from Canada with shipping is $68.25.
But she's breaking the law.
I'm not a criminal. I am a survivor. I'm someone who knows what it takes to stay alive.
Others are cutting down on doses, which can be dangerous.
I'm not taking on the pharmaceutical industry. I'm taking on my life.
The question this bill is asking is a question that needs to be asked.
Dana Malik from Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America knows something has to change.
How do we lower the cost of prescription drugs?
But she believes importing medications is a risky idea and may be illegal because of a 2013 federal law requiring all drugs made in America to be trackable by 2023. Think of it as pharma to table. Your medication will be monitored from the moment it's made to the pharmacy and all the way to your home.
Members of the Health Canada and the Health Ministry have long said that they cannot be responsible for the safety and integrity of drugs that are exported from Canada.
She says those medications could get swapped out for something else.
Potentially pills that are not pills at all, but instead laced with fentanyl.
And it might be difficult to hold a company or a country accountable. Pharma is not the only one against the idea.
This, too, is just a gimmick.
Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar was a major critic.
Canada's drug market is simply too small to bring down prices here.
Though he's toned down that rhetoric. 4 former FDA commissioners also penned a letter in 2017 saying this is not a safe solution. Critics say the program wouldn't benefit Medicaid patients. The requirements to get federal approval are too vague, and that it would stifle research. Instead, they say there are other options that can happen a lot quicker, like patient rebates. One state is already moving forward with the idea. The Vermont legislature passed a bill last year to try to import 17 name-brand drugs from Canada.
Oklahoma, Oregon, Colorado have all reached out.
State Senator Tim Ashe says he's heard all the criticisms before.
They're going to get their hands on tainted drugs. People would be dropping dead. We're still looking for one person who's purchased drugs legally in Canada who has been made sick. It just hasn't happened.
Vermont's still at least 2 years away from implementing this pending federal approval. But patients who can't afford their medications right now don't have years to wait.
They make this drug that keeps me alive.
And while everyone we spoke with agrees that something needs to change to cut costs,
the problem I have is the price that they're charging.
They just disagree on what that solution looks like. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Now, the bill has passed out of its first Senate committee and is now in another waiting for a hearing. We will keep an eye on it. In the meantime, though, we want to know what you think about all of this. You can email us right now, in fact, at denverchannel.com, at 360 at thedenverchannel.com. You can also leave us a comment on Facebook or Twitter. A bill that would have regulated plastic straws in restaurants appears to be dead on arrival. this wouldn't have banned straws. Instead, it would have put the burden on customers to request them. Lawmakers voted 10-1 today to postpone this proposal indefinitely, and it's not to say they didn't put effort into making it work. One member of the House even suggested an exception for Slurpees and Big Gulp type drinks. That amendment didn't make it either, and the bill will likely have to wait until next year to be heard. Also tonight, Denver teachers have officially agreed to a peace treaty with the school district. Even though their strike ended earlier this month, both sides must sign off on a pay plan going forward. And this is a pretty significant change, to be sure. Teachers will get a nearly 12% raise on average here in Denver. Bonuses and incentives will also more closely resemble neighboring districts. 97% of the union backed the plan. Now the Denver School District technically still has to vote for this to take effect, but this deal is as good as done. Guess that didn't take long. Denver's second ever social marijuana club has closed after less than a month in business. So what was it? The location, the owners, or people just not interested in spending their evening at a place where you can't buy pot, drink booze, or eat? Denver 7's Jason Grenauer reports.
We have to sell the entertainment, the experience, the socialness, the education, the fitness, the fun.
That was Vape and Play owner Megan Lumpkins a month ago, before Denver's second social pot establishment opened. Denver's second social pot establishment is now closed after just a few weeks. Vape and Play is temporarily closed and is now for sale, according to a statement from the owner. I spoke to her in person. She refused to add anything else.
This is our vape bar.
The business was based on ticketing and events, the owners told us in an earlier interview, since Vape and Play legally can't sell marijuana.
We also call ourselves as a cannabis entertainment and educational center.
That leaves just one licensed place for social pot, the Coffee Joint, not far from 8th and I-25.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for us because we welcome competition. We've won a competition, and I had no idea why they closed.
The coffee shop has been operational for a full year now, located next to her husband's dispensary.
We are helping dispensary to survive and to advertise, and this is one of the kind of a profitable ideas that we have.
The ordinance allowing social pot clubs has been around since 2016, yet the city says they've received only 5 applications. 2 opened, 1 now closed, 1 application is pending.
I think 2 things is the business model and the regulations are hard for any kind of business to follow.
So is it too soon to say social pot is a failed experiment?
Oh no, it's going to take off one way or the other.
In Denver, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver 7.
And from the First Alert Weather Center, here's a look at your forecast. We have an easy week ahead. Temperatures dipping down into the 20s overnight, but the week ahead looks good. It's just the weekend we have to keep watch on. This has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thank you so much for joining us. Check back here later tonight for another update and download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Ann Trujillo.